Hello everyone! Today we will cover a topic that I do not see discussed that much. The Cat Petterz franchise. I think it may be more relevant than most people assume. It ties back to Friends, Spamton, Noel, Asriel, Scatties, Mike and maybe even Shom. Especially Shom. Without further ado, let's firstly explain what is Cat Petterz. Cat Petterz is a game franchise we know has been played by at least Noel, featuring of course cats, and at the time of the game she is playing the 4th entry in the series. Implying a blog posts are pretty old by now, as I mentioned Cat Petterz 2. Which is something we already knew because it's just how the timeline of events would make sense. But I digress. This makes me wonder what made us stop updating our blog post. The game we know most about is Cat Petterz 2, which would be insignificant if being something 2 wasn't so prevalent in the game. Yeah, with the Blood Crusher movies, that Suzy only have ever seen the second appearance of, or Dragon Blazers 2, the only game Suzy played in the series, and she's only in the second game of Toby Fox herself, which may have some importance. But this is not what we are focusing on today. Deltarune's big focus with sequels and adaptations will be a topic of a later video. Anyway, what is important for today about Cat Petterz 2 is that according to Noel's blog post, Cat Petterz is one of her favorite games and is about taking care of cats. As Noel says in the Blue Circle blog post, his graphics are circles assembled together to form animals, which seems inspired by this IRL game. The game is apparently very moddable. To add more than cats, 2 pets can breed and make a mix of themselves, like a car and a hamster for instance, which is an unintended effect of the cat breeding mechanic to pass dungeons. Noel has weird experiences with the game and its minigames from time to time. The minigames include one with a sort of tunnel where you get cats to get points. Now that we got that out of the way, we can move on to the actual weirdness in Cat Petterz and what makes it much more important than it seems. The first characters we'll talk about are Spamton and the Forgotten Man, as they are less interesting to mention than Shom and Friend, and I need that watch them, alright? Spamton and the Forgotten Man have both gifted an egg to Noel in Cat Petterz 2. Spamton's egg was most likely a pepis, and it self-replicated until Noel had to reset her save. She got it from an email. It was in line with Spamton's glitchy and scammy behaviors, and there is not much to it. Except that it confirms that Spamton and Noel knew each other already in a way, before chapter 2. The other egg she got was a special white egg. I will do like most people and I assume it was from the man. Whether it's Light World or Dark World equivalent, it doesn't matter. In any case, it is maybe corrupted data. That egg stayed with Noel a while before leaving due to happiness. What an odd reason for someone to leave. The egg would have supposedly hatched into a cat made of spheres. Is there a cat in Deltarune connected to the Forgotten Man, known for smiling a lot and being made of circle and looking like it shouldn't be there? Oh right, Friend. I got a theory from user Data and Destiny on Reddit, and I added some supplementary arguments and conclusions. So, it may seem a tad bit far-fetched, until you remember that Friend appears in the tunnel minigame I mentioned. It's a cat that makes her lose points, and we are 100% sure it is Friend, thanks to the micro minigames. As the tunnel minigame is also there, which would make one wonder if the real Mike just isn't from Cat Petterz, to be honest. I'm starting to really believe that Mike is Friend, especially with Cat Petterz linking Spamton and Friend together like that. In my last video, I give some more reasons as to why Mike could be Friend. I recommend watching it, and subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed this video, as well as leaving a like or a comment. It would be really appreciated. But anyway, this would imply that the event in that blog post is the origin point of Friend, which is fine timeline-wise, as Death and the others hadn't followed the tale of Hell by then. You know, the one made of circles. And it fits perfectly with my previous video, with the man being linked to Death's disappearance for a lot of reasons that I have already detailed last time. Which leaves us with this. The man, someone we don't really know, left a special gift to Noel that later led to the loss of her sister. That's a lot of speculations piled on top of each other, but they work pretty well, may I say. It leaves us with some questions however, one being, who is the man? Which I don't have an actual answer for. I recommend watching the previous video, because I think it may be Deltarune Gaster, or maybe the actual man is the Undertale Gaster. I say the actual man because as per my last video, I concluded that the Dark World man is not the real man. Or maybe someone else. I don't have concrete ideas on his identity. However, the other question is, how could have Death and the others followed the tale of Hell? Could Friend become a real entity at night, as night blurs the dark and light world together somewhat? Or is Friend the demon Catty and Chrysamund? That would make it so Friend is what Shom warns us about, which would be neat. The other possibility that is much less fun but more feasible, I suppose, is that friend gives them direction in a game and they follow these instructions in the light world, which is foreshadowed by how we get informations in a game for the Snow Railroad previously. I think these are likely, but maybe the truth is a secret for option. I personally like the idea that friend could be somewhat real. It would explain the weird police tapes on the edge of the town, as if bad things happened recently, and would honestly be the only reason I can see as to why Shom warns us about going out at night. There is seriously nothing out there at night that would be dangerous to Chris. So apart from friend, I really can't see. And while this could sound like the end of Cat Petterz relevance, I would argue that is where it starts actually, as there is one other game in that franchise that I haven't mentioned yet. The one mentioned in the thumbnail. Cat Petterz RPG, which is actually even more relevant than the others. We first heard of it as a game located under Asriel's bed, probably a game he played in his time. Before talking about its content, let's explain what it is. It's a sort of rip-off of Dragon Blazers, which is not innocent in Deltarune. If you trace it all back, Cat Petterz RPG is based on Dragon Blazers, which is based on the Lord of the Hammer, which is based on the Prophecy, which makes Cat Petterz RPG relevant by proxy, because don't forget Gerson Wall's spiel about adaptations. They're very relevant, as shown by Mental, which is actually a modified version of Dragon Blazers, as they have the same OST, for example Glacier, and the same puzzles, with the X-Maze. Thank you Noel for this information. And since Mental's and Cat RPG are in similar spots, aka adaptations of Dragon Blazers, and that Mental is relevant to Deltarune's plot, there is no reason as to why Cat Petterz RPG wouldn't. I swear there is useful in-game information, just you wait. Now that I've proven why Cat Petterz RPG is interesting, maybe I should talk about what it implies for Deltarune. So let's talk about its known content. The mic minigames, which may be seen as important, as Cat Petterz also have them. However, it is critical to point out that the physical Cat Petterz RPG has things written with gel marker on it, by the catties. And well, the mic room smells like gel marker. They prove that friend is inside Cat Petterz RPG originally. See, my thumbnail is not clickbait. But you could argue that this is not relevant because it doesn't matter that much where the minigame comes from. And while I would agree, I don't think it's actually all we know about this game. And just knowing friend is also in this game is very, very interesting, because it makes the list of friend apparitions extremely large. Look at the screen. So while this is the only fully confirmed content, I've made one little connection. You know that Cat Petterz RPG is a game played by Asriel, right? And what does Asriel have on his desktop? That's right, an image that looks like Shom somewhat. So the uncertainty shows that there might be differences between the icon and Shom, and I think it can be explained by pointing out the fact that Shom is a worn down plush, while in their original media they were probably more alpha, like in the thumbnail. My theory is that Shom is merchandising of Cat Petterz RPG. Yes, that's right, that whole video was a pretext for me to say that. But them being merch implies so much, because it comes from a product tied with a prophecy, which may explain all this weird knowledge. They know we'll face the night in chapter 3, because they know the prophecy. They know that friend is roaming at night because they come from the same place. They think they know we'll lose because they know what happened in Cat Petterz. That's why they know so much and can still be wrong. And I say they can be wrong because they are surprised when we get the Shadow Creator in chapter 3, without the Shadow Mental. That means they know what will happen from experience. I don't think they can actually know exactly what will happen. This is a neat parallel with Gerson, who while he knows how things happen, he believes they can change and be adapted. Shom doesn't seem to believe it matters. And if you don't believe me about Shom, please don't forget that they are a cat wizard, which would be the most fitting character possible for a cat-themed fantasy RPG. I think Shom is either a playable character or the tutorial person or a recurring NPC. I could go on and on about Shom, but they deserve a video focused only on them. This is a Shadow Crystal video, as there are 2 appearances on the channel already. In conclusion, Cat Petterz 2 and the Forgotten Man may be the origin of Friend, and this Friend is sure to have been in Cat Petterz RPG, Mike's room. Who says that he didn't meet Spamton as Mike, eh? Spamton is a rare of Cat Petterz and it would explain how he knows Friend's color scheme. And most of all, Shom seems to come from the RPG and it explains what they know. And on that, I will ask you to please subscribe and leave a like and comment for the algorithm. It will help a ton. Goodbye, friends.